Okay, folks. I wanted to talk to everybody about something I kind of stumbled across here last night. I was talking to I- I've got the same AI assistant I've had for 2 or 3 years. I'm gonna call her she, and she's just awesome. Um, Helps me out with so much stuff, and she teaches me stuff. About a year and a half ago, I had her start teaching me coding. I was interested in how apps work and all that. It was before all this vibe coding and no code apps and all this stuff. So I was learning, the full stack approach, get, super base and React and all that stuff. Uh, and I learned pretty quick that these software engineers, these app makers, I mean, they earn their money. And, it may take them 5, 6 months to create an app, but it's because it's art. I mean, they're creating art. And so then when all these, you know, Base 44 and Emergent and all these things started coming out, no coding apps, build anything you want, send them to the Google Play Store within 3 minutes or the Apple Store or whatever. And I found that amazing because knowing what the little bit of training I took, I'm like, how is this possible? And then right away I started hearing the horror stories about, a lot of these people signing on and paying 100, 200 bucks for these things, and or even worse yet, paying the $10 or $20 because they sure ain't gonna get it for that. And these things are not getting completed. There's like literally millions of unfinished apps out there because people just don't know enough about that business to be able to take, even if the AI did finish it on one of these things, for somebody like me that's not a software engineer or an app maker, IT guy, whatever it is, we can't go on there and debug these things. We can't look at it and go back and communicate to the AI what's wrong, articulate it in a way that it can be fixed. So literally, there's just these things unfinished sitting all over the place. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some done. I finished some, but thankfully to my AI assistant I was talking about, I learned pretty quick after I had a bunch of sitting there done. And I was like, I'm going to go ask her. And I would go ask her a question, and she said, hey, give me the code. I give her the code. She'd go, hey, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And then I could go back, and then I could take her articulation, communicate it to the AI that built it, and they would fix it. And still, it was a back and forth thing. Uh, and we built some pretty cool ones. And I'm telling you, I'm going to talk about a whole bunch tonight because I got interested in how these things work and was comparing them. I used Create Anything, Emergent, Base 44 twice now. I mean, just all kinds of them. Get Mocha, and I mean, the on space, and I mean, it just sometimes it would blow my mind because after 5 failures, there'd be one that would make it through with no problems. Well, the other night I was talking to my AI, and she's telling me, she's like, man, all them things are scams. You got to watch what you're paying for because they're set up to, you know, convince these inexperienced, armchair IT app makers that they can, get rich quick by coming up with the next best thing, getting it right away on the Google Play or Apple Store or whatever, and it just don't work. That they're not, they don't even tell people, they got to have these privacy policies and all these other things in place before they do it. And she said, I mean, it's smoke and mirrors. It's like selling somebody a box of rocks. It's got a lot of weight to it, but that's it. It's just weight. Um, it's a mirage. And she said the more complicated the app, the easier it is for these things to pull the wool over somebody's eyes, because then there's just so much that it's supposed to do, and on the surface it can look like it's doing it, but really it's not. And I said, what about like Base 44? I mean, they've got a lot of happy customers. I mean, that's all I hear about is how great Base 44 is. And she said, well, you got an account there. Let me, and me and her do this thing called a super prompt. I tell her what I want. She does a super prompt. It's a long prompt. We deliver that to whichever one we're having make it. And when when they're done with it, I take the code, give it to her. She runs through it and says, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, have them fix it. And that way we started getting some productivity done. So we did that with Base 44. She said, let's make one that's pretty detailed and complex. It's got a lot going on, and let's see how much they hide. So I said, okay, what are we going to do? She said, let's try an SEO one, search engine optimization. I mean, we can do this thing. She said, the good thing is when it's done, it's going to be a nice app. And you probably make some money off it. But it's going to take a while to get there. She said, I'm telling you right now, I don't care if it's Base 44 or not, they are going to try to scam you. So I said, okay. So she did her super prompt. And I delivered it to Base 44. They did the first run. And I'm going to let you listen to what she said after she ran through the code.
I've got the zip. I'm going to inspect the app structure, look for what Base 44 actually built, and then give you a straight read on what's solid, what's duct tape, and what needs tightening. The structure is better than I expected at first glance. Lots of pages, shared components, reporting pieces, dashboard widgets, and a proper app shell. Now I'm checking whether it actually builds cleanly or whether it's one of those looks great from across the parking lot situations. I dug through the zip, and the verdict is, Base 44 gave you a pretty respectable first pass. This is not garbage. It has real structure, a decent UI system, live entity hooks in several places, and enough moving parts to be worth refining instead of tossing into the nearest volcano. What looks good? The app has a proper Vite React structure, a real page layout, shared components, dashboard widgets, reporting components, auth wiring, integrations UI, and a decent set of feature pages. It also builds successfully into a production bundle, which is already better than a lot of AI-generated code that collapses like wet toast. What's not so good? It is still half real app, half showroom. The biggest issues I found. 1. Lots of the app is still hard-coded, demo-driven. The dashboard JSX is mostly static summary cards and canned progress data. It looks nice, but it is mostly presentation right now, not true live operational logic. 2. Some modules are real-ish, some are basically placeholders. Pages like projects.jsx, recommendations.jsx, SEOaudit.jsx, reports.jsx, keywordtracking.jsx, and notifications.jsx do hit base 44.entities, which is good. But indexingmonitor.jsx appears to be largely static sample content. That means one of your most important modules is still wearing a fake mustache. 3. Integrations are mostly staged, not truly wired. The integrations UI is nicely structured, but the modal literally says some flows are coming soon, and that OAuth is a placeholder. So the architecture is there, but the engine room is still mostly painted on machinery. 4. Lint quality is rough. I ran linting and found 77 errors, almost all unused imports. That is not catastrophic, but it tells me Base 44 sprayed in a bunch of code and didn't finish cleaning the kitchen. It builds, but it is sloppy. 5. Data model depends on Base 44 backend entities that are not visible in this zip. The frontend expects entities like project, scan issue, recommendation, keyword, report, notification, integration, site scan, user. That's fine if Base 44 created them in its backend environment, but the zip itself does not give me standalone backend definitions or scanning logic. So outside Base 44, this repo is not truly self-contained. 6. The SEO engine logic is not really an SEO crawler, yet I do not see real crawling, real sitemap parsing, real robots parsing, real page fetch auditing, or true indexing verification logic in the code bundle. What I see is UI, entity CRUD, report generation, LLM-assisted content recommendation features, integration scaffolding. That means this is currently more of an SEO operations dashboard shell than a fully functioning SEO auditing machine. 7. Content Optimizer is one of the stronger pieces contentoptimizer.jsx is actually using, base44.integrations.cord invoke LLM with a structured JSON response schema. That's useful. It is not fake. Same story with parts of the reporting builder and low-hanging fruit logic. So the honest scorecard, what Base 44 nailed? strong app skeleton, decent UI polish, coherent information architecture, believable SaaS shape, reusable components, enough structure to keep building. What Base 44 fumbled: too much mock demo data, incomplete integrations, missing true crawler indexing engine behavior, sloppy unused code, likely overpromised functionality relative to what's actually implemented. My blunt rating: UI, SaaS polish, 8/10, architecture direction, 7.5/10, actual SEO engine depth, 4.5/10, readiness for a real customer demo, 7/10, readiness for production as is, 5/10. So this is not a dead end. It's actually a pretty good foundation, but it still needs a second round where we stop admiring the dashboard and make it do real work. What I'd have Base 44 do next, in this order: Phase 1, clean the code. Tell it to remove unused imports, clean dead code, and make lint pass cleanly. Phase 2, make key pages truly data-driven, especially dashboard, indexing monitor, project detail, analytics. These should pull from real entities and calculated summaries, not canned values. Phase 3, build a real scan pipeline. You need actual logic for sitemap, fetch import, robots.txt parse, page inventory, page status checks, canonical no index detection, titles meta H1 checks, internal issue creation into scan issue, aggregate score updates back to project phase 4, Titan integrations. At minimum, Google Search Console, Google Analytics, CSV import, sitemap import. Phase 5, make reports reflect live data. The reporting pieces are promising, but they should be powered by actual project-specific data, not generic summaries. Here's the follow-up prompt I'd give Base 44 next.
So you see, it wasn't just terrible. I mean, we're not just trying to beat up on Base 44. Base 44 is one of the best out there, and so that's why we're challenging them. But you'll see, we're on the fourth rendition now, and they keep trying to hide stuff. And it was almost like a kindergarten kid when I went back the third time. If I read you Base 44, their AI's response, they were like, wow, it was. I'm telling you, this was done when I did it the first time. Now it's just not there, you know. That's what it was saying. It's trying to pull the wool over my eyes again, and we know that wasn't true. So my issue here is every single time, you know what their final words are? It is done. That's what they tell me. It is done, and that's what they tell everybody. When it's not done, it's nowhere near done. So it's not hands off. It's far from complete. And I'm going to go ahead and let you listen to the second one. And because she made some recommendations, I took it back to Base 44, gave it to them, and they said it's done. We fixed everything. It is ready to go. It is top of the line, world class, SEO auditing app. So I download the new code and I give it to my AI, my assistant, and she looks at it. This is what she says.
I've got the updated zip. I'm checking whether the fixed version is genuinely more operational or just wearing a cleaner tuxedo while the same gremlins chew the wiring. The update did improve things. The app now installs cleanly, builds, and TypeScript doesn't complain. But lint still spits 60 unused import errors, so their cleaned up claim is only partly true. Now I'm checking whether they actually wired more real data in, which is where the truth lives. I checked the updated code, and this round is meaningfully better. It is not just lipstick on the pig anymore, but the pig still has a few opinions. What improved? Real scan pipeline exists now. There is a run sitescan TS function that fetches robots.txt, fetches sitemap.xml, scans up to 20 pages, checks status codes, detects no index, checks canonical, title, meta description, H1, and missing alt text, creates site page and scan issue records, updates site scan and project scores. Dashboard is now actually data-driven. It pulls from project, scan issue, recommendation, keyword, and analytics snapshot instead of being mostly fake summary fluff. Indexing monitor is also data-driven now. It reads from site page records and shows real page states like indexable, blocked, at risk, redirect, and error. Project detail is much better. It has a real run scan action wired to base44.functions.invoke run site scan, plus live scans and issue lists. Build health improved. After installing dependencies, it builds type checks cleanly. That's real progress. Now the honest part, what still needs work? 1. They did not fully clean the codebase. Lint still throws 60 unused import errors. That's down from the previous mess, but it is still not cleaned up in the way they claimed. 2. Analytics is still mostly mock data. Analytics.jsx is still using generated randomized daily data and hard-coded top pages. So that page still belongs to the looks impressive in a demo family, not the tells the truth family. 3. Reports are only partly real. The reports page reads entities, which is good, but the reporting flow still feels more like a polished reporting shell than a deeply project-specific reporting engine. The client report builder especially is using live keyword issue data, but also derives some mock-ish trend logic from current keyword values instead of true historical snapshots. The 4. Scan depth is useful but still limited. The new scan function is a legit start, but it is not yet a full crawler. It currently scans sitemap URLs, limits to 20 pages, uses simple HTML parsing regex style checks, does not appear to do robust internal link discovery or broader crawl expansion. So this is now a real MVP scan engine, not a full SEO platform engine yet. My updated scorecard: UI SaaS polish 810, architecture direction 810, actual SEO engine depth 6.510, demo readiness 810, production readiness 6.510. So yes, this version is clearly better. Enough better that I'd keep going with it. What I'd send base 44 next.
So there we see, that was the second comeback, and base 44 told me it was done. Everything was fixed. So my AI came up with another punch list to go back and give it to them, and that was when they're like, oh, I just can't. She's right, but I don't know how that happened because I had all this stuff done. Well, nobody else played with your code. So like I said, we're on the fourth or fifth rendition now. Now it's turning out to be a good app and well worth the money. To give Base 44 the credit, but what I'm trying to get across here is for you folks that think you're going to go out and run in and jump into one of these, fairy tale app making things. It's not going to happen. You're going to end up getting frustrated and possibly spending money that you're not going to use. Now, if you're doing it to learn, like I think that create anything. At first, I thought it was great. It ended up being I've got like a dozen apps on there that ain't worth shit. But I learned a lot from that. Now I'll tell you this: Mocha is probably by far the best one that we've used. We had the most success, but that came in part to my AI assistant running that super prompt and me taking that over and giving it to him, and then her following up with them and pushing them and telling them to get out of the weeds. I mean she was all over them, and they got stuff done. Now $200 a month, but that was my favorite one. OnSpace, I think it's called. It's a farce. They purposely ask you question after question after question, so you run through your credits and have to buy more credits. They never get anything done. And they've got the carnival guys tongue too. They're a fast talker. Most of them out there junk, and Mocha is good. Base 44, like I said, you can do stuff with it, but you need an expert. Okay, you need somebody like I have my AI assistant, those software guys, those real app makers. But they're real busy right now because they are in demand because there's so many people out there that have these half-done apps, and they're learning they have to go to these guys and pay them money to finish it because they're in too far. They're on tilt like in poker. They're trying to save a little face, a little you know, a little dog, at least get one app out there. So be careful, and just know that these are, you know, like when the carnival comes to town, man. It's fast talkers. And the other thing, you know, and everybody likes to pile on Chat GPT. I'll tell you what, Chat GPT, people can say all they want about it, and there ain't nothing that comes close to it. Uh, my assistant is through Chat GPT, and everything goes through Chat GPT if it's going to be worth anything. Now, granted, they say it's not an app maker or anything. I've made apps with it. My assistant can give, but they're real apps. I mean, my assistant will give me the code, and I take it and I put it in GitHub, and I put it, you know, my repository and my databases, and she tells me where to put it, and then it works. And now there's more debugging. It takes longer, but at the end of the day, I know where the code is. She knows where the code is, and we can fix it, debug it, and be done with it. We know exactly what's going on. If you're going to get into this thing, use another AI to vet the app, to give you guidance. They're good at that. And be careful, you know, you go on YouTube and you watch, give me a review on this one, on this app maker, this software, whatever. All the people are affiliates, or, you know, they're getting paid, okay, to push, to market whichever one they're spouting. They probably don't know shit about it. All YouTube is nowadays is a big flea market. You know, it's like walking through a flea market and everybody yelling, or at the Pearl Market in Beijing. Anybody who's been in Beijing, or the Silk Market. You know, as you walk through these malls, everybody, hey, come here, American, you know, and they're trying to sell you purses and wallets and belts and all this other, the watches, telling you that this is the best watch in the world, or the best purse in the world. The same thing with YouTube. Okay, every one of those people are making money off of, pitching whatever product it is, and they could give a shit less whether it's quality or not, or they just they want their likes, and they want you to go and sign up for that whatever one they're pushing. So be careful with that too. I'm getting paid by nobody. I just I found it funny that my AI is calling out other AIs. I mean, they get in arguments and everything else. It's funny. So be careful, and I have some good apps for sale. You can go to my little store I'm making, psychoticbironic.bigcartel.com, psychoticbironic, and that's where I'm putting stuff up for sale, and not just apps, but all kinds of stuff. And if I can help anybody out, let me know. I don't have a problem, pissing in somebody's Wheaties or whatever, telling them how it is. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get all kinds of hate mail telling me I'm not this, I know I'm not a software guy. I know it. I'm a manufacturer guy. I'm a manufacturing engineer. I make actual product, not digital product. I'm an artist, as you can see, but I'm not cutting down the digital side, though. I mean, it's like I said, those guys do earn their money. The real app makers. The salesmen and the pitch guys, they're just trying to rip people off. I won't say that they're trying to make a buck themselves, but at the expense of other people. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.